gaming shoot, what said that you claim it? It's that Xbox, spin the block, his legs live. Fast talker, no riddling, moonwalker, selling moon rock just to make dividends. You in traffic with family? That much make it a portrait. Gun kick back, not grannies from porches. David on the scene, you know that it's scorching. What's the man with king? No response to the saying, advancing the line, advancing the payment. You front the game and shoot, what said that you claim?
You already know the time, told my boys to hold the line. We gon' shoot it out in seconds, leave you posted like a vine. Bow your head down to the king, leave your roses at the shrine. We stay ready for the war, just need the king to drop the sign. Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? Say what you running from, what you running from? I'm with my team, we bleed green, that's what you wanted, huh? This what you wanted. This what you wanted, huh?
Peace and blessings, and welcome back to Xbox Frontline News with your boy the King. Now this week, I have to make a confession. I've come into possession of an item, and I have been in the backgrounds carrying out a mission. Now, if you follow my Twitter timeline, I left breadcrumbs for individuals to know what I'm talking about. In the next couple of weeks, I will be releasing pre-recorded segments of my endeavors in making hashtag no PlayStation 6 an absolute reality. I told you, we're going to run it up on these bums, and I'm going to keep my boot on Kong's neck this whole generation. I told you, I personally will make sure that you become an app. With that all said and done, how was everybody's weekend? Fight Night Friday was fantastic. None of the individuals that I challenged showed up, but what did happen was every individual that does show up for Fight Night Friday was there. We had a more robust cast, more robust people. It was people wanting to play so many different things. But remember, if you're a member, you dictate pace, because what? Members are in control. So if all the members want to play Tekken, we're playing Tekken. If all the members want to play Street Fighter, we're playing Street Fighter. If all the members want to play Call of Duty, Sparkling Zero, whatever you want to play as a member, you control the controller. You are player 2, and you tell player 1, hey man, switch the game. You know why? Because I value you. And you can like, follow, and subscribe right now. Do it. Hey, if you see that early, you want to do that. But as a member, you dictate pace. But check it out. A lot of stuff been happening this weekend. Iron Lord's podcast was crazy this weekend, and go get a chance to go check that. I was on Septic Sauce on Saturday with my boy Gaz, and I held his feet to the fire, but he held my feet to the fire as well. And we got some much needed conversation in this industry going forward. But again, as a community, as a whole, we are gearing up for all this information, and a lot of this information has to do with the wonderful world of handhelds. If you're not talking about handhelds in this economy, in this ongoing future of our video games, I don't know what you're doing. Everyone that's in the know is doing one, and if you don't have one coming up, you better switch up your plans right now. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. You better get to these handhelds. But we're going to talk about these handhelds right now. Switch 2 rumors. Switch 2 is heating up. I guess, as far as all the information that we did want to hear about and see, the Switch 2 is pushing the envelope forward right now as far as Nintendo allowing a little bit more information to leak out. I think these are controlled leaks to build up hype going into the next year. And also, not discounting what the Switch already has in place, right? So, as a consumer, you do want to know what's on the horizon, and you do want to know, why is the sale so low right now for the Switch? As investors and stuff like that, as these guys are ramping up, and they said they wanted to make sure they had enough stock for the Switch 2. It's kind of weird that we haven't seen leaked images of the Switch 2. I mean, we saw some, but that was still guessing. We haven't seen the complete unit itself. So more of those was like in pieces and parts. I do want to say complete unit. So right now we have Nintendo Switch 2 rumor touches on the Pokemon franchise. Nintendo 2 Switch rumor, right? So Nintendo Switch 2 rumors are coming in hot and heavy. There's been speculation that the Switch successor will go on sale in March of 2025. With these rumors, the rumors of the next generation games are sure to follow. This time is related to a Pokemon game. As always, leaks and rumors, they take it with a pinch of salt. All right. The code refers to a quote from Botanica of Nuva Town. A character in Pokemon Black and White, while it doesn't explicitly refer to the new game, it does hint at the next generation of Pokemon games right now. I think this is a bit of a reach, to be honest with you. Stuff is few and far between. So again, any little things that you do see, we're going to gravitate to, and we're going to talk about it. And again, any little news is good news, is better than no news. So we know it's coming. We just don't know when. Just to piggyback off the rumor of the Switch, all right, the Switch 2 will be revealed in January, and this is a rumor, and released in March of 2025. The stakes are higher for the industry than they are for, the console fanboys. There's a huge new rumor about the Switch 2 that seems to have created controversy among fans, which one could take as proof that there's some credibility behind it. This information comes from Nintendo Prime, but we'll focus mainly on the rumor itself for the purposes of talking about it. Okay, so the machine is translated. Well, okay, while machine translated, he couldn't verify with a fluent Chinese language speaker. As such, we are subject to what the translation says. Okay, so he got this information on it was in Chinese, and he put it through a translator. So a lot of times these translations aren't literal; they don't actually be extremely accurate. But the main talking points were they don't seem like they are misinterpreted. Is that the Switch 2 will officially be announced in January and it will release in March 2025. We don't know how well this aligns with the theories of Nintendo Switch 2 release schedule going on as planned, or if they sped up or slowed down the schedule. I honestly believe, in my opinion, that the Switch 2 will be announced in January. We will get some form of direct, like the same way we got last year. Microsoft's third party or whatever state of whatever they had in January. PlayStation did so, and I believe Nintendo did a direct too, to give you what's the top of the year, what to look forward in the first coming months, and then they do it again. They double back. They do it again. I think that Nintendo wants to show by the next financial period to their shareholders how viable that the Switch 2 is, the sales, because, all right, once you do show in January, pre-orders can go up like right after that, and then you can see the strong interest in the device itself. So I do believe the rumors when it comes to this, it does align with them liking to release in what is that? Their whole release schedule is in the spring, right? So it does align with that. It does make sense. If it does make dollars, it does make sense. And if it does make sense, well, Nintendo should be doing it, right? So let's look forward to it. This is the big one, fellas. For a lot of people that don't want the Final Fantasy remake trilogy on other platforms as far as Xbox, because it's already on PC. All right, so that's that. It's not on Switch, but it's on PlayStation. So, you have the platform warriors right now up in arms with any type of news with it regards to it being released and with regards of it not showing up. So what we do have here is, a little conversation of, let's get into it, right? All right, so Final Fantasy VII Rebirth director apparently is a fan of Xbox. All right, he wants to bring the whole full trilogy to the Microsoft platform, and I think that's incredible. The question of exclusivity versus multi-platform releases has always been an intense one to discuss within the gaming community. On the business side, it makes sense to keep things locked in to one platform and maybe release them on others later so that the developer can build up a relationship with publisher and get more games made for them. However, some releasing on all platforms helps potentially ensure that more gamers have access to it, thus getting more sales. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth remains a PlayStation 5 exclusive for now, but its director definitely wants it on other platforms, including the Xbox Series X. Specifically, co-director Hamagachi talked to Gamers Radar about the title, and he admitted that he wants to see the whole Remake trilogy on other platforms. In terms of Final Fantasy VII, there's nothing really we can say at the moment, but certainly we do want to bring the Final Fantasy VII and the Remake series to as many players out there as possible. So we want to create the situation with that environment where more players can play more games in the future, and we want that, we want to look in that direction. So Square Enix is taking the bold move to say that they do want Final Fantasy, on Xbox, and we did know that. So it's just becoming more apparent as they become bolder with their stance on releasing on the Xbox platform with every interview that goes up, that it's not about if, it's more about when. And I think timing is the key. I think the grand arrival is key. I think that conversation needs to be had. And as a third-party developer, when you do lock yourself into these contracts, it can become an albatross at a point in time if you make a gamble on something that doesn't pay off. So we know it didn't pay off for them to go in the direction that they did go. So they're course correcting now and trying to become better. So blessings. It's always good to see gamers get a chance to play more games.
I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
With all the stuff that's going on recently, Samsung unveils Gaming Hub. Gaming Hub is set to change the way we view our mobile stuff, right? Normally, you have like the Apple Store, you have Google Play. Now we have Gaming Hub, which I've already been introduced to through my television. But apparently, it's being shown up here, right? So Samsung unveils Gaming Hub. The phone-based mobile gaming has seen a massive rise in popularity over the last few years. Gone are the days when the small, easy games to play on handhelds. Right now, you got stuff like Genshin Impact, PUBG, Call of Duty Mobile, Diablo, Dead Cells, and many more. Getting on board, Samsung's debuted the Gaming Hub today. Temple Run, Angry Birds, Cut the Rope, Flappy Bird, and all the other popular games of that era are great in their own right, but they're still small and they don't demand much. And right now, Galaxy Gaming Hub debuted for Galaxy devices, as reported by the Business Standard. Samsung's Gaming Hub is available in North America right now and is likely to spread to other regions. Now, with the court orders and stuff that are happening with Samsung and others, in full fight with the rulings that are happening, with the FTC going after Google and Apple with their monopoly in the gaming space and the mobile space. A lot of these companies that were unwilling or reluctant to launch their mobile gaming stores are now going to see new life. I totally feel that the FTC is going to break up the monopoly Apple and Google have, which they have to some extent, and they're going to enforce those actions. So now you see the bold step of the people that were building these platforms in the background. So we see Samsung hop off the porch first with Microsoft with their internals that what I know with their mobile store and getting that ready. And then you're going to look at the fact that you pair that mobile store with your gaming handheld device. right? And your cell phone, you become a powerhouse within itself, right? So let's say you don't have your gaming handheld with you at the time, you have your mobile, and then you just, pull up the store, you do your purchase, you can play your game right there on your mobile if you have an extension, or it does have touch play. If not, you have your gaming device right there, and you hit the mobile store and you just purchase and you're right back in. So the level of flexibility that these mobile stores do have, and not to be undone, Sony is put up the job listing to start building out their mobile store. So to reach new customers, you have to do new things. New strategies have to be implemented. New motivations for making cash in areas where you normally weren't making cash. But those avenues seem to have opened up now, greater than before. So with rulings breaking up monopolies and breaking up barriers of entry, these gatekeepers can no longer keep Samsung and these other companies out. Kudos to them. I think competition is key. And with more competition, we're able to see more things happen. So hopefully we get a chance to see more gaming opportunities pop up and your libraries get to live on in different places. Well, with the going forward of hashtag no PlayStation 6, you know how we do. We're going to run it up on these bums. This is a hug a PlayStation 5 day. If you have a PlayStation, do you know where your PlayStation is at this moment? Go hug your PlayStation. For pennies on a dollar, there are homeless PlayStations all over the place. PlayStation 5s are an endangered species. And what we must do is we must continue to support our PlayStation 5s and hug them, because hashtag no PlayStation 6 is real, and we're going to run it up on these bums this whole generation. I'm going to keep the boot on Kong's neck until they become an app. And kinda, they are already. They're moving in that direction. And with the recent news that you no longer need a PlayStation 5 to place your PlayStation 5 games, the fact is they're kind of phasing that whole situation out. They're trying to move past the bad story, which is the PlayStation 5 Pro, because on the heels of the PlayStation 5 Pro, they announced that the Portal, yes, people, the Portal will be able to play PlayStation 5 games. It's in beta right now, but it's just a moment in time before it becomes real all the way across the board. So after it comes out of beta, won't need a PlayStation 5. You just have your Pro, stream your games. It's fantastic. And from what I heard, streaming your games on a Portal is dope. It works. Christopher Hart himself said it's an invaluable piece of tech. And more so now than ever, the barrier of entry to get into the PlayStation 5 ecosystem has been lowered. It's not as powerful as a Series S, but I'm just saying this is the low bar into entry into this current gen. And without the need of a PlayStation 5, well, hashtag no PlayStation 6 is real. But don't take my word for it. Take the word of the rumored PlayStation Portal 30th anniversary will be stocked. Now listen, I ain't gonna hold you. Me personally, I might have to get this. Because there are never any shortages when it comes to rumors, but speculation or supposed leaks that the video game industry is best not, too much weight on these reports and rumors, but the official word until the official word comes out. But however, a new rumor popped up, and PlayStation Portal 30th anniversary might be, showing itself again. So, Wario64 said this news comes directly from the source at a PlayStation Direct. It might happen, bro. $219, you get in. They also noted that the source of the PlayStation Direct, excuse me, has claimed that the new inventory is expected. So I'm gonna tell you, don't go for the ugly, go for the pretty, right? Go for the one that you feel highlights exactly what your PlayStation fandom is. Mine is the OG, PlayStation, when PlayStation was great. I don't know who these piss poor dudes are, but I do say this. When this becomes reality, and the fact of the new information that I do have regarding PlayStation actually hits the deck, this is just a low barrier of entry into it. And then we're going to have a little bit something, a little bit more concrete. And you're going to get to understand what I'm talking about in a second when hashtag no PlayStation 6 is really going to happen. And these dudes they're sitting on the fence waiting for 2030. And I just don't feel that it's going to happen for them. Now, not to be undone by the portal, PlayStation is going to double down on their commitment to eliminating the absolute PlayStation 5. I feel that, they want to move past the whole debacle where the SSD was supposed to be the fastest thing and change gaming. They want to move past that lie. And I think they want to move past the new lie where the PlayStation 5 Pro, the pisser in the box, is supposed to be revolutionary in that sense. I think they want to get to the point where they are financially solvent in making products that make money from the get-go and kind of base their strategy off of what Nintendo has done. So with the release of the beta patch for the Portal, which allows you to stream games from 720p, I feel, with 5 megabit down, and 1080p with 7 megabit in between streaming, I think now, well, I don't think, I know now Sony's going to double down on actual hardware, which will be in handheld form factor of what I kind of thought the Portal was going to be from the get-go. That's how I lost that bet with Tom Henderson. It had to been the need of time. That was kind of crazy, pause. But the fact of the matter is, I thought they was going to have robust innards inside of the Portal, which will allow you to download and, play your games from the device. The fact that it was a purely streaming device, I lost in the price point because that was the conversation that we was having. So, that's the 2% wrong. But the fact of the matter is this thing right here. Bloomberg, Sony is in early stages of making the PlayStation 5 gaming handheld. Now, as I've just stated to you, they have lowered the barrier of entry with the streaming device that they have. But if streaming just isn't your thing and you do want localized gaming, well, Sony might have a handheld for you that will come a whole lot sooner than hashtag no PlayStation 6, which is set to release in 2030. And I think if they see initial success with this device, which I believe that could launch as early as 2027, well, we have been reporting on rumors that Sony's interested in returning to the portable gaming for years. But this time, there's not only significant reason to be excited, there's a lot of reason to believe it's true. Bloomberg Mitsugati reports that Sony is in early stages of producing a new PlayStation handheld console, which will run PlayStation 5 games. This product will definitely be years away from getting released, and Sony could still change their mind and cancel it, like they can just change their mind and cancel the PlayStation 6. But as you have guessed, Sony is looking to compete with Nintendo in the portable gaming front. But on top of that, this move against the fiercer rival Microsoft, earlier this month, Microsoft gaming head Phil Dominus Maximus Aurelius Spencer, first of his name, officially confirmed that they're working on their own gaming handheld. You see, Sony is in the market of being Mr. Me Too. And Mr. Me Too will definitely get you to the place of Mr. Me Last, right? So what we do see here, we do see that gaming handhelds we've seen the rise of the handheld. I think this generation is going to be marked as the handheld generation. And that was all done by Nintendo. Nintendo showed you the level of success a dockable unit can do. And with that dockable unit, you saw the rise of the ROG Ally, the Steam Deck, the Vision Go, and other handhelds coming to the market and also gain a little bit of space. But with the big three, That space can be incentivized by the portfolio that they have, the IPs that they have, the level of flexibility that they have in the marketplace, and the pipelines they have for distribution. With them making mobile stores, all three of them, this can actually change the landscape of video gaming. No longer can we be segmented to the same normal guys that we do talk to. We could be opening Pandora's box to the world. Those 8 billion, 7 billion, 5 billion, how many billion people that are in the world that have handhelds can actually be connective tissue to you as a gamer. You can actually start to reach out. Could you imagine a point in time where your whole listing on your phone has access to see exactly what game you're playing at the moment? So when you're playing a game, they can actually chime in on a phone call while you're having a phone call and you're playing Call of Duty, and you can just switch in between. And they can just jump in easily, and you can send a text alert to them saying, hey man, I'm playing Call of Duty, do you want to jump in? So these things and more can happen for you with the ability of all these marketplaces and these handhelds and the flexibility of that device. Now, I know a lot of you guys are going to say, I don't want this next generation to go to handheld. Well, buy a PC and shut the hell up. But for us console gamers, let me tell you something. Let me give you a little bit of solace. My Switch, and I know you're going to talk about the Switch being an underpowered device. Switch put out so many video games, and they were really good. But the best part about the Switch is, and I'm going to tell you, that it's dockable. My Switch never comes off that dock unless I'm traveling someplace and I do have a Switch game that I do want to play. But my Switch stays on the dock. And when my Switch is on the dock, you know what I do? I play my games, and I play them in a higher fidelity than I do on the go. And with the Steam Deck, I do play my Steam Deck dock sometimes. My ROG has a dock as well. So these things are hooked up to the TV, and I can play them there. Those are more on the go because they're more robust and powerful. But again, also battery life. You have to keep that in consideration. These companies are in the business of making money. And I believe that the portable device with the flexibility it does have and the innards that allow you to switch instantaneously between the mobile aspect of it from the store to the home aspect of it to the plug in and play. I think that gives them a level of flexibility that is undeniable. So no longer do we continue to think of inside the box. We have to think outside the box. I do want to say this. If these handhelds are based on current gen with a little bit of tech that's inside the box that just makes it enough, I don't feel that we have explored all the possibilities of this current generation. So this is the reason why I'm not excited or pushing the narrative to go to next generation, because I don't think that we've fully exhausted every resource in this generation. I feel that we have room to grow. Games can be optimized better. 60 frames per second, lower resolutions. So we do have digital upscaling that can actually change that, the AI upscaling. So again, this is just my take on it. Let's build on this generation. To hell with the next generation. Get these handhelds out here, and let's see what the handheld market opens up as far as revenue stream goes for these companies, so us as consumers can actually make some good deals, right? Could you imagine them selling the consoles at a profit, the handhelds at a profit, at a low rate, and because of what the console is able to do, we're able to get more. They make more profit. They put it more into the ecosystem. We get more games. It's a win-win situation for everybody around. I think you guys need to change your opinion on these handhelds, because Nintendo has been showing you the blueprint, and Nintendo hasn't been wrong this generation when it came to the Switch.
Do you need some money?
A lot of people are looking for sales data when it comes to Call of Duty 2. Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And what we know is that the number of purchased is higher on the PlayStation. Of course, they had no other way to access the game. So, of course, it would be more so purchased on a device that only has one option. When the option is split on other devices like PC and Xbox, you will have a split when it comes to that. You have people that, hey man, let me buy this, and other people is like, oh, let me get into this, let me try this if they haven't played Call of Duty in a while. So these things are to be expected. What a lot of people are saying is like, man, it didn't shift hardware in the month that it came out. I didn't think that it would shift hardware, but what I did think that it will have the total numbers played, players played, total hours played, and total matches. They will be number one out of the whole franchises when it came to Call of Duty because of the level of engagement Game Pass gives them. Game Pass gives them the flexibility to be insane. But I did hear that the sales numbers of Game Pass actually went through the roof. So, in the first 30 days from launch, together, we've made Black Ops 6 the biggest Call of Duty ever. With that being said, that's the publicly tweeted piece of it, right? So now that that has been publicly tweeted and we understand what it is, with dudes dying to know numbers and wanting to, oh man, we need to figure this out. What you do need to figure out is this. Xbox owns Call of Duty. They own Activision Blizzard King. They're no longer Activision Blizzard King. They're actually Xbox. They're Microsoft. So, same way as ZeniMax. You're Microsoft. Bethesda, you're Microsoft. You're Xbox. You're a game maker. Listen, I told y'all last month that it will be number one in NPDs. I told you Astrobot will fall out of the top 10. It fell to 15. Next month, I still expect Call of Duty to come in NPD within the top 5, and I expect Astrobot to not be in the top 25. So, again, with Xbox having the ability to continue to show that they're profitable, in spite of the individuals telling you that Game Pass is not sustainable, Game Pass is not profitable, Game Pass is a hindrance to the gaming industry, and it cannibalizes sales, and it does all this stuff, everything negative, because they do not want to demand the same from the PlayStation ecosystem, because they're shareholders and they're boardroom members with, I need Sony to do better. You want Sony to do better by putting games day and date in their service to give you actual value for what they're giving you. They're giving you a piss poor product and expecting you to go all out without, going all out. It's like being in a relationship where you're giving 100% and the other person is giving 25. I feel Xbox and Microsoft gives 100% when it comes to the Xbox gamer, the consumer that is inside Game Pass, because Game Pass is as robust as it needs to be with the ability to have consumers game. So when Game Pass gives you a game of this magnitude that the competition has to pay for, and they pay for it in droves, that lets you know if that game was available in a service, then they would have been there in their service in droves. That allows you to understand that there is profitability to be made, but you have to invest in yourself. And I love the fact that Xbox and Microsoft has invested in themselves, and Game Pass as a platform is taking off. So you can have all the naysayers in the world. Call of Duty is running it up on you bums. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. It's business moves like this, the ability to be bold and believe in yourself, is the reason why Xbox is number one in my heart, number one in your wallet, and number one in the mind share of every individual that has a high IQ. It's just you low IQ individuals that believe Sony is doing something different. They're not. They're doing everything wrong, as indicative of this year that they had. They had the worst year in their history. And I'm telling you now, hashtag no PlayStation 6 is real.
What's your prediction?
Vicious win.
Vicious win. Thank you, Dad.
Love you.
Love you too.
I must say, it's pleasing to see top free games in the Xbox store is is this. This is really good to see because it means that they have turned the tide on where they were and things have changed. And I do appreciate it as a consumer that I can see that Genshin Impact is number one in top free games. Call of Duty Warzone takes a back seat to that. And my beloved Fortnite falls to third, Roblox being fourth. And, Fortnite, we got to double it back, for the Battle Royale, But this list looks incredible to see all these free games that's in here. I just want y'all to see, if you do have children and you do want them to access free games that are available, these are free games that you can actually get down with. And a lot of these games is included with Game Pass. So again, go check that out. Oh, look at these right here. Crackdown and Crackdown 2. Highly telling you to go check it out. And go, yeah, Path of Exile, go check that out. But all these games is up here. Bleachy Bleach, we need to go check that out. Ooh. But again, Genshin Impact being number one after release inside the Xbox ecosystem is something dope to see. We are doing what we're supposed to do. So if y'all ask for it and y'all actually are playing it, good. I don't know. I don't have another free-to-play service in my soul other than Fortnite. I'm sorry. And I know you guys wanted me to switch on stream on Twitch. I did not stream on Twitch today because why? I was playing Fortnite and I just didn't feel like entertaining. I just feel like gaming and just get into it, So some days you have that. I didn't get a chance to game this weekend at all, and I was just really missing out.
I've become more powerful than any Jedi. Even you.
Yo, remember when Square came over, not Square, Rare came over Xbox when Microsoft purchased Rare? Remember when they purchased Rare? Well, remember their first project that they did, and it wasn't Sea of Thieves, it was avatars. Remember the avatars that you had? And I went and custom made my avatar and stuff like that. And it was a thing. And everybody thought that you have yourself in this digital world. I think that started with Sony Home. Remember Sony Home? And they took that. I really loved that aspect of, I think it was my PlayStation 3. And they had this hub world where you had this room and you made it up and it was Sony Home and it was your stuff. And you had this avatar and stuff like that. Well, Microsoft went out and made avatars. They had Rare make avatars. Well, now they're closing it. Because, you still have time to customize your avatar. Remember your avatars? Well, Microsoft realized that you don't do it and there's low engagement and they don't need to have it going on anymore. All right. So your avatars, I think your avatars was able to get inside one game. I forgot what game that was. 360. Yeah, see, yeah. The exception is with the 360 that allowed you to use your avatars as such as 1 versus 100. Yeah, the Doritos 2 Crash. I remember it was a racing game. Yeah, and the Connect Sports. That's when your avatar really made sense. And it doesn't do it anymore, right? And I guess that's it. Hold on, let me kick that off right there. So, they talking about the Avatar program and how they had the new Xbox avatars compared to the old avatars. Remember the old avatars that look completely generic? There they go. See, that's the original ones, and you had your little stuff here, your little animals, and I used to do so much with them. These avatars, the new ones that they made, they were cool. I thought the original avatars were better. These ones had better emotes and stuff like that, but it wasn't, it didn't hit. It didn't resonate. They didn't do much with it. They, you remember, the Kinect puts you in the game, so it made more sense for the Kinect. The new avatars that they had they gave you ability to change up more stuff and to be more of what I guess you are or what you want it to be, like with prosthetics and stuff like that if you are handy capable. It just didn't resonate. And it can't resonate if you don't have content to make it resonate with. So you can make all these little avatars, but if your avatars are only there to identify you in a world that doesn't exist as far as making them relevant, then it's irrelevant, right? You can just have your picture up there. It's not necessary. You have to make it make sense. So you have all these studios. You could have a studio that took your avatars and made it make sense and put it inside Game Pass, right? Have your avatar actually be in a platformer. Have your avatar actually, and make that platformer a multi-layered platformer where it can do puzzling, where it could do like Lego stuff, where it could do racing, where it could do flight simulator and stuff like that. You lost a golden opportunity and you wasted money in an area that you didn't need to waste money in. And this is the part where Microsoft is course correcting, saying, okay, cool, we're taking it out. You don't engage with it. It's gone. That's it. And I appreciate it, right? So, but if you do care about your avatars and you've never made one, go make one now, because it's not going to be there anymore, the ability to do so. But again, I like what it represented before. I don't like what it represented now, because it represented absolutely nothing for me. It gave me absolutely zero value. All it did was show me that you were able to make it handy capable and gave me more options. But what you didn't do is give me gameplay. I'm not in gaming to make stuff that's static and unusable. I want to have everything efficient and usable and put me in the game. Except for me sitting on the sidelines. Nobody wants to be a player sitting down and not playing. It doesn't work. All right. So we have made it this far in the video. We saw a couple of things. It was some stuff that I did want to touch on. I did want to touch on the rumor of the next Valve headset using NVIDIA going forward. We do know NVIDIA is powering the Nintendo Switch 2 because they power the Nintendo Switch 1. We don't even know if that's called the Nintendo Switch 2, right? Well, the next iteration of the next Nintendo device, all right? So until they officially say it, I'm just going to go with exactly what's happening in the marketplace. So we know AMD is partnered with Sony with its exploration and it's called research and development people of the next PlayStation console, hashtag no PlayStation 6. You know how we do. But listen, until it's announced, it's not, right? So it is what it is. But we do have confirmation on, I believe, Xbox as well. And Xbox has got NVIDIA and AMD to work together on what's going inside their server blades, which will be a robust, diverse departure from the norm, right? It's going to give you the flexibility and computing power that is necessary in these demanding times, because we all saw what happened with Flight Simulator when that released to a resounding L. I mean, I'm going to tell you, man, Flight Simulator launching to a queue in any form of fashion is not cool at all, right? And I was talking to Cog, and Cog explained to me that the file size of them were like, because the first file size for Flight Sim was like really robust. This file size is smaller. I think that has to do with the fact that I think they're still supporting Xbox One. I'm not sure. I got to check. I'm not a Flight Sim dude. I downloaded it before and I immediately uninstalled it after I flew over the projects, which I grew up in, and the neighborhood, the Bronx. I flew over Yankee Stadium. Then I went to Egypt. And other than that, I had no thoughts of playing Flight Simulator. It's not my thing. Also, Stalker 2 has released a patch. They have reduced load times. Because I guess it was like texture assets and stuff like that. Remember, I thought the game wasn't as optimized as it could be. So I believe that you will see during the next coming weeks that they did say that they're going to go back in there on the back end and release patches to fix stuff up. So, kudos to the Stalker Studio in getting that done. Everybody seems to have a love-hate relationship when it comes to that game. I can have nothing but a love relationship for that game due to what they went through. Now, I do play it on another account that I do have, and I'm just truly not a super fan of playing Souls-like first-person games. That's not my thing. So again, I want to play my games how I want to play my games. So if you really like Stalker, God bless. There's other games that are hitting the Xbox platform. We have, the rumors of Square actually turning the corner. We have the Game Awards coming up soon. So with that, we will find out all these rumors. My rumor that I'm going with, that I'm going to stick with, is that God of War original trilogy, when God of War was actually good, is going to get remastered in some form or fashion and put on the PlayStation 5, and I will engage. I will engage. I'm not even going to hold you. I think the world will engage with that and get rid of the sad dad walking simulator fake Kratos that I got to struggle through with Ragnarok right now because, just really not a fan that much. But we see the industry changing. We also see that handhelds is playing a larger part, especially in the planning and strategy going forward. Financially, we're at a different place where we are in the world and the industry. And I think changing the strategy will benefit us greatly. Now, a lot of you dudes say, no, King, I do just want actual hardware. Then go buy a PC and be quiet. My opinion of it is you can dock your machine, never take it off, and it never be a handheld for you. But you still have the level of flexibility to do so. But I think because you see a Switch that you feel that it has to be Switch power scale. And I think a lot of people talk from a level of ignorance that never had a ROG Ally in their hand or never had, to a lesser degree, Steam Deck, which I feel that those are indicative of the power narrative in which these two titans are looking forward to going into. So I do appreciate the fact that they're using the Portal on the PlayStation side as a test bed to garner interest. So that passion project did bear fruit. And now they're seeing, again, with this next patch that they release, that you don't need a PlayStation 5 when it comes to a Portal, and you can just stream it. That means that lends credence to my whole dynamic when I told you once they released their PlayStation 5 Pro that their feet were stuck in the sand and they wasn't going to return real quickly. They're not in the business of killing themselves as much as people think. So what they do is you release a patch, you already garnered interest, you already got that 3% interest in the fan base. Now 3% is a lot considering that you will have 65 million consoles out in the wild. So 3% of them purchase a Portal. That means that that device is available for 3% of your fan base. You haven't sold to 3% of your fan base in any of your games. So the fact that the Portal sold to 3% of your fan base, fantastic. All right, now for those people, there's a patch. Now you're going to see how many people engage in said patch, and if they use that as a talking point going forward. They should, because when they launch their mobile store with all the stuff that's going on, that will put them in a position where, okay, now we can go on with our device and we can switch gears and actually don't worry about waking up PlayStation 6 if that's a thing. They can actually let the Pro mature in its space while this handheld comes out and takes the reins and does what the handheld is supposed to do. Dockable, remove the PlayStation 5 from out of the household, and allows you to do more with less. And I believe that the Xbox sees it the same way. Right now, Xbox consoles is moving at a snail pace, but Game Pass is going up. So you can actually extrapolate the fact that they have 41 million users in Game Pass. That means that the console sales should be getting up to that 41, 45 million range. And when it does hit the 45 million range, you can say that at least 80 to 90% of all Xbox owners have Game Pass in some form or fashion, right? Because they was on live and they moved over to Game Pass. So that boosted the numbers when it came to that. And now when you switched over Game Pass to actual Ultimate, that switched over the numbers there. So we can see that the strategy that Xbox is using is bearing fruit. The strategy that PlayStation is using is bearing fruit. Hashtag no PlayStation 6. But to a lesser extent, excuse me, that stocks is still trading at $19. Again, go support your company. If you say that's what you want to do, you want to support the dev. You're not really supporting the dev when you're giving them money. You're supporting PlayStation, but you're doing it in a consumer fashion. Why don't you do it as a business in your head and go actually buy stock in a company that you say, and you'll really start supporting your passion. So go do that, make that happen, and make that be a thing. But this is Xbox Frontline News. And if you're seeing anything here that you love, you like me, you like the platform, you like the stuff that I do, I talk about the gaming in general with an Xbox bias and an Xbox twist, because I hate Xbox tax and I'm here to stomp out Xbox tax. Xbox has always been great, and my ability to hang out with Xbox and do all the stuff that I do with Xbox. You love the Xbox chair, you love the stuff that we do. I love the whole community when it comes to Xbox. And all I can tell you dudes is God bless, stay blessed. And I'm gonna take that logo and I'm gonna throw it around. What I'm gonna do, I do want to play some Space Marines too. So I'm gonna take that logo and I'm gonna throw it around Space Marines too. And I'm gonna tell you, try to play the Game Pass. Come on, Bella, stop it.